Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV. It's 2015. It's another season of rugby in Western Province, and it's going to be a jam-packed year of excitement. Welcome back. We hope you've had a great festive season and a safe festive season, and of course a good new year and a prosperous new year to you guys then. That it's going to be really good. Let me introduce you to my panel before we start talking about rugby in 2015 and what's going to happen in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Of course, a heck of a lot coming up. First on the panel with me, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, Ismaeel Dollie. Welcome, my man.
Hi JP, good to be back after the long holidays. Looking forward to a massive 2015.
Before we go to my next guest, congratulations on the birth of your second child.
Thank you very much. Very blessed and very honored to have another kid. As you can see, all the grey coming along. It's the start of what's to come, but I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you got enough kids, eh? With all the 15 kids on the field every Saturday.
Nah, it's an honor and it's a blessing, and it's just good to be running around with him, and I've got to keep fit to stay up with him.
No, but well done, and we look forward to. It's a boy.
It's a boy.
It's a boy, and we look forward to making sure that he ends up on Cape Rugby TV one day as a
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And then, of course, also joining me on the panel, Club Rugby guru, Lyndon Julies. Hello, Lyndon.
Good evening, JP. Good evening, all the guests.
Nice to have you back on the show.
Yeah, it's been good. Good rest over the break. And congrats to Ismaeel. I think by the time his kid gets here, we'll be probably in season 25 or something. Probably be around there.
Okay, you mean, yeah, season
25.
What are we? Well, this is our 5th season.
Yeah,
5
so
years
maybe,
now.
Yeah, so 20 from now. Yeah. So we can beat him.
You know, it's been 5 years, and we still haven't done like a reunion or an anniversary. Like, we just keep doing this stuff for another year.
Maybe we should do like a kickback or like a flashback
A
to
throwback.
how it was. Throwback. There we go.
Well, I don't know. I think it needs to
these
be
days.
like another level. I think we need to have like a whole reunion of all the presenters and have like a mass potjie course.
That could work. We could do one there in Elsie's by Mr. April. Maybe he can do a spit for us.
You see, now you throw things out there. Now
His mind is working overtime.
How am I going to come back from that? If I say
Or
no,
we can go to collegians. Or we both. We can go to collegians.
We can go to Rangers for
We
the
can go
night.
to
So
Rangers,
you're
or the butter
rescuing me
chicken.
now.
Yeah, we can do that. That's all. We can go to St. George's to Gastro as well. There's many places where we can go, you know. We don't
Yeah.
need a venue.
but you see, now it's too late because now Anslin's going to say, why are we not coming up?
Yeah.
Now, he's going to nail me. If we don't go to Rangers, I'm going to get in trouble with Rangers. If we don't go to Collegians, we'll get in trouble with Collegians.
So on the upside, we've got 5 weeks already when the season hasn't started. We've got 5 weeks already to do something. So we've got something every week now.
Listen,
The
let's
next
leave
5
the
weeks.
event management to the experts, okay? In other words, we'll call Alice Michaels. At Elsie's.
And then she will get into it, yeah.
All right, but it's now, of course, it's rugby time, and everybody's getting back into it. Ish, is it last night, Tuesday night? Was that your first practice, or have you guys already started already?
We're starting tonight. Well, last night, yes, was our first practice. But we've given the guys an extra week off due to the fact that we ended quite late into the season last year.
Yeah.
So it was important to get the guys refreshed and making sure that they come back excited and hungry, because you don't want guys to be stale coming into the season, and it's a long season. We've got a couple of sevens tournaments coming up. We'll get into that soon probably, as well as a couple of friendlies. So the league only starts in April, but rugby starts now, Jan.
When did you guys break? What was your last session? I mean, you did go.
Our last session was on the 19th of December. So we've given the guys about 4 weeks off, 3 to 4 weeks off.
I mean, it's definitely clearly it's a full year. That's it now. 18th of December. It's about the same time that most business people sort of went on a break, and now we're into the second week of January, and it's about the same time. I mean, it's a full. That's it.
Definitely. And you've got to make sure that guys are constantly hungry to achieve success, because you're not going to have them fully sort of motivated for the 12 months of the year. So you've got to break it up. You've got to keep them motivated. You've got to keep them excited. You've got to always have activities at the club.
But you know what? The kind of thing that I like about it is that rugby's moved from being a 3-month season to a 4 months, a 5 months, a 6-month season, and that where if you wanted to stay fit and healthy and just have a social activity, you had to wait 6 months before you went back to your club. Now a rugby club is as active as the local gym. or the local golf course or whatever, you're always going to be able to go down to the club and have a workout. Whether you play rugby or not, you can still go have a workout.
And there's always activities at most clubs. I mean, if you go to most community fields or clubs that have their own clubhouses or they own the fields, you'll always find something happening there. There's always some function. The halls always are open, like you say. The gym has always been used. There's always guys on the field. So I think there's only that 3-4 weeks where there's actually no activity at any club. And the more we progress towards having resources, knowing what to use, how to use them, and then also optimizing what you've got in your club and your community, that then you'll move towards that 3-4 week break.
I mean, I think if I look at some of the fields or other provinces, if you go past those areas and you fly over those rugby fields and things like that, you can sort of see they've shut down.
Yeah.
They're going to open in 5 months' time. Doesn't matter what happens with the grass and that. They'll come back maybe a month before, give it some water, open the lights or open the doors, check if the lights are working, start up again. 3 months of rugby, close down. We'll see you guys in 8 months' time. The fields and other places around the country sometimes just goes dead.
I think also what is, if you look back maybe 5 years back, the guys who generally started first week in January were your students. Or was your Boys Cup. I mean, but now you find that they have to start even earlier because the guys in the normal club season or your normal league guys, they start in the first week of January. So you find that your fields that are the emptiest, going towards the end of the season, last bit of the season, are your varsities.
But not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I mean, look at Ish. I mean, there was no. You're not playing the Varsity Cup. You're not playing the Community Cup.
Nope.
But you
started up.
You've started up.
Your Primroses and the guys that are playing in the Community Shields, I mean, they're starting now. And that's very competitive. They should have been training since November already.
Well, they have been. I think some of them. I know some of the PAR region.
Yeah, they played on Monday.
They played against UWC.
UWC.
Did we get a result on that?
No, I don't think. No, it wasn't a result. And then UCT and Impala played last night. I don't know what was the result there as well. They played Tuesday night.
Yeah.
That was at Clash, the Champ of Champions or something. So there's rugby going on. So if you play now, you would have at least had 5 weeks of training. So, there wasn't really a break for festive season, and like you said, you pick up weight very quickly. So.
And you can't go from doing nothing to play, because that's when injuries get in, and that's when you're on the wrong
but it's
side.
important that you say that, because I think still a lot of people out there don't have the kind of expertise that you've got. You've played in the professional ranks, you've played through all the levels. Some coaches don't understand that. Guys that don't have conditioning coaches at their clubs, they just got a coach, and he's an amateur and he kind of coaches. Is that one of the things you've got to be careful of? Don't push your players straight into a game.
Well, it's very important. I mean, your body's not used to the type of contact and the collision, so you've got to sort of condition your body in order to get to that stage where they can take the contact.
This is why these old Crocs guys never come back. They don't play for 10 years and they go play one game. They give it horns, and then you don't see them for 4 years because that takes 4 years to recover.
Recovery period.
All right, let's take a quick look at the 2015 timeline. Of course, it's a very busy and active timeline. From February to April, we've got the Varsity Cup, and then it's the Varsity Shield, Community Cup, and the Community Challenge. So February, March, and April sees these 4 tournaments taking place: Varsity Cup, Varsity Shield, Community Cup, and Community Challenge. Of course, we mustn't forget the fact that during February and April, I mean, you'll see it on the slide right now, the Super 15 starts as well. So February to April, we've literally got 6 tournaments underway, including the Vodacom Cup that kicks off there. April also sees the start of the club rugby season, which will take over from the Varsity Cup, Varsity Shield, Community Cup, and Community Challenge. Wait for them to finish. And then August to October, we see the Curry Cup. So it's going to be an absolute jam-packed year again. And not to mention the fact that once all that's finished, we've also got Sevens Rugby that starts up once again. And that's Sevens Rugby at the clubs and Sevens Rugby, touch rugby on the beach. So very, very busy. And of course, the big one this year, starting in, I think, September, it's the World Cup.
Yep, that's right. So all the teams will be preparing for this. Obviously, the teams, the national teams. But I also think that all your rugby fans are waiting for this. Your guys that don't watch sport or just love sport, the event, I think they will relish the fact that they can enjoy a tournament, pick a team and follow it.
Who's going to win the World Cup? Other than South Africa, who's going to win the World Cup?
All Blacks.
All Blacks. Other than South Africa, who's going to win the World Cup?
I also say the All Blacks, but I think I'm going to tip Wales to also put a bit of span in the works there.
Wales.
Yeah, Wales.
Jeez, like, are you okay?
That's right.
Really?
That's far right wing.
Yeah, that's I think we Wales.
Told you was a spanner.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I told you was a spanner.
All right, okay. In Super League A, it's Stellenbosch, UCT, and Hamilton's and D'Urberville that finished right on top of the pile. You can see that there. Now the clubs, 3 clubs, and you can see it at the bottom there, that came up into the rankings. Kales River, Belleville, and NNK, they move into Super League A. All right, so Kales River, Belleville, NNK, they move into... They drop. Hang on. Okay, folks, let me just reverse that. They've dropped down. So if we look now at Super League B, Villages, Silurians, St. George's, they come up into Super League A. So Kales River, Belleville, and NNK are going to be playing in Super League B. Okay, so let's look at this. Villages, Silurians, St. George's. Starting with Villages, they had a good season last year. I mean, all 3 of these teams, good season. Yeah. Make no mistake about it. That's why they've moved up. But are they going to be? How are they going to do? How are they going to do in Super League A? Villages up against the likes of SK Warmers, Belhar, Durbel. Villages have made a massive change. I mean, they've taken a very fast trajectory in terms of making that turnaround, and they've got some. They're kind of getting back to their old winning ways. Are they going to survive?
I think importantly is depth of squads and clubs, and the quality of depth that the clubs have in their ranks. Couple of injuries and you're searching for guys in the third team who's maybe not really up to it in the first side. So you got to make sure that your squad is pretty much sorted in terms of quality and the depth.
So it's back to depth. All right. So how much depth does Villages have?
I think
Lyndon, you're quite in touch with Villages.
I think also what is very important, just to latch on what Ismaeel is saying, is the quality of conditioning in the off season or the pre-season, and also your quality of coaching and how your structures are put in place. You don't want to make contact, stuff like you don't make contact too early. You don't want to have the guys grabbing their own gym program, doing their own things in the gym, or the type of exercises that they do, these kind of things, and then you don't end up in the halfway through the season having to foot a medical bill because your guy is one of your top 5 guys are out, so now you're having to field a third side player, or you have to call up the old croc they started to play in the beginning of the year. So depth is a very important thing, because most of the clubs we've got most of the clubs in the Super League A don't have the kind of budgets that the other clubs have, or the pool of players as the varsities have. So they've got to use what they have.
How much depth does Villages have?
I don't know.
We don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to see.
I've lost you all together.
Yeah. What kind of question is that?
This is back to Wales.
I'm never gonna shake that one off, right?
You're never gonna shake that one off. That one's going on. That one's going on.
I'm not wearing the red shirt though. I'm not wearing the red shirt, so I don't know.
I'm wearing the red card soon. All right, folks. You can find us on Twitter and listen to Lindy's Julius ridiculous right wing, left wing selections for who's going to win the World Cup at Cape Rugby TV, and remember, of course, on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the other teams that have been promoted and trying to analyze their performance in terms of how they're going to do and what they've been doing in terms of preparing for 2015. Although it is obviously too early to tell, but it's pretty exciting talking about it. We'll take an ad break and we'll come back to you in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV Wednesday night. We're back on, and we're talking club rugby. Of course, the Stormers are out in Hermanus at the moment. They are on a training camp and getting ready for what looks to be a big Super 15. I think it's going to be a big challenge for them this year, but they've got some serious heavyweight players in that Super 15 squad. And I think that they're going to do really well. But we'll talk about Super 15 and the Stormers a little bit later. In the meantime, let's quickly take a look at the teams that have moved up into Super League A. Before the break, and we spoke about Villages there, Silurians and St. George's. Obviously, you can tell me a little bit more about St. George's. Do you think you're going to survive in Super League A?
I think we're going to give it a shot. I don't think any of the other 14 teams in the club rugby world expected us to be there. It wasn't part of the plan to be there this quick, but obviously you're not going to. We're gonna grab the opportunity.
Is there that vibe, that attitude of guys? It's another thing. It's a fresh vibe. We're gonna take it to a new level.
Yeah.
We're not just carry on playing rugby. We actually now need to get smarter. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I mean, Wilbur's a bright guy.
Our coach Wilbur Kroc. We just had over the weekend. We had a coaches and managers in Durban, where Eugene Elof and Dr. Ferreira. She's a Paralympian coach. So
Susan Ferreira.
Susan Ferreira. She was there, so we had that talk. We've got another one in 2 days on Friday, where we've got the managers and the executive and the coaches also sitting. So where we do a bit of a SWOT analysis, we analyze everything and look at it and see this as a golden opportunity, not only for the club, because we can't go any higher, but our players that are there, that are still 21, 20, that are playing in the first team, can actually get that call up, So
networking is what it's actually all about.
Yeah.
So if your coach is from Stellenbosch University, he's probably going to be able to get a Susan Ferreira into the picture.
And it happens, and you get the facilities.
You just kind of have to know who's who, and you bring in your chommies and things like that. But if you've got Susan Ferreira there, folks, if you don't know who Susan Ferreira is, he was a coach of the Paralympic squad, and for a number of years now has been recognised as the coach of the year, one of South Africa's best coaches. And our Paralympic team in South Africa does extremely well with the likes of Ilse Hayes and Ernst van Dijk and that. And if you look at the science that Susan Ferreira brings to the team, incredible. So if St. George's is already tapping into that sort of knowledge, you're in pretty good hands.
So that is what we looked at. We look at the resources that we have, like you say, the networking. Also, the facilities that is available to us. We're partnering with the Stellenbosch University, so they also the sports science department.
He's like ish, Now all of a sudden we're friends with universities again.
Hey, it's who you know, eh?
I just think like you say, we just use it. So
I was just wondering which colleges you teamed up with. Ish.
Cape Tech probably.
Cape Tech, Damlin.
Oh, you're down the road from UCT.
The Milnerton branch down here in Dublin.
Okay.
All right, then, so Solarians, they're jumping up as well, moving up. Their depth, we're back to the depth question, if that's the key difference here.
Yeah.
How are they doing on depth? How are they going to do it again?
Well,
how are they going to do it?
The coach has jumped ship and he's gone to Tygerberg, so he's currently coaching.
Who's that? It's not JP Zali, yeah? Ricky.
Ricky Peterson,
Ricky Peterson. Has Ricky moved to Tygerberg?
He's at Tygerberg.
Okay. All right, I didn't know Ricky had moved. All right, there we go, folks. We're sharing some news here. Ricky Peterson, coach at Western Province, has moved from Solarians to Tygerberg. Tygerberg in good hands. He's a good coach.
Yeah, and I think the depth issue again. I think that Solarians were towards the end of the season. We spoke about it last year, as how the opponents sized them up and knew what the game plan was. I think they're going to do a shift in this. Obviously, there's going to be a new shepherd in charge there, so I think they will definitely work on the depth.
Any other coaching movements that we know about? People that have changed around? I know Rita Hlongwane has moved into Western Province. We of course know that now. That's a formal position. Shimangi.
Yanni's also there. That's probably about it that we know about.
Really, that's good. But it'd be nice to see out of the other clubs if anybody's brought in new. I know Warren Edwards is apparently not coaching at Masiphumelele anymore.
Okay, and he brought them to where they are now.
And he brought them to where they are, absolutely.
But I think is he back at Village or he's playing now at Masiphumelele?
Don't know.
I know because I saw.
I think Retreat might have snapped him up. All right, folks. Then of course, moving up into Super League B now. Franschhoek United, Wraithby, and Violets. All right, so these are two teams that are also going to have their work cut out for them. Does it get progressively tougher the lower down you go? If you go from Super League B to Super League A, it's going to be tough. But to move from, say, what we call Premier League into Super League C is potentially a much bigger jump. Is it going to be tougher for Franschhoek United or Wraithby or Violets to move into Super League B than it would be for Solarians or St. George's to move into Super League A?
Okay.
Do you think it's going to? I don't know.
I think each club comes with its challenges, and obviously it was a positive move for those teams to move into a higher league. So obviously they'll probably attract more players from the community and maybe outside the community to maybe strengthen their squad. We don't know what's happening at the respective clubs, but naturally that will happen. If a club drops, naturally players would want to stay in the same league that they were playing or play in a higher league. So
don't you think that in the lower leagues players tend to not move such long distances?
Well, also, yeah, exactly. It depends on where you stay and in proximity to where the club is. What's convenient and what's accessible to the player. You'll probably choose a club that's much closer to him, that's playing in a decent league.
Also, you'll find there's a passive move of players to a club that is being promoted, but also a passive move. So like they'll go like, it's a gaan. So Are you looking at me because I picked Wales to win the World Cup? Is that what I'm being judged?
I'm
that
kind
year
of
for?
heading in that direction.
I can see that.
I'm kind of, you saw that look in my eye. You're not going to get off this.
But I mean, guys at Violets, I know guys like Riaz Khan, they're actively recruiting players for Violets. You know, and the environment that they create around about this, their club, as an environment you want to know. I know the guys at Milton as well. The environment that they've got. I saw Nolene Oosthuizen posting a photo today or in the week, someone about Damien de Allende that was there in 2008. And I mean, that's the kind of environment that you want, because Damien is a Springbok, so you can use that as the carrot that you hold up for you guys. You know?
I quite like the idea of the fact, one of the things that I like about the fact that we start so early with the practice and that, is that you talk about recruiting, is that you're going to start getting your players into the mix much sooner, because quite often the players will only come back to practice, say in March. Now you've got to go through that whole registration thing with Western Province. And before you know, it's cut off and you can't register any more players. So now you've got 4 months almost to get your registration sorted out. So come the first match, or you're going to have a lot of players.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about sort of guys that come back the last few weeks of pre-season just to join. Those are the guys that think, okay, they're just going to walk into the sides. But
the bus is full.
Yeah.
The bus is full. There's been guys that have been training for a couple of months already. So hopefully those guys will get preference when it comes to team selection, and not just the guys that just come the last week of training.
Yeah, it doesn't really work that way, you know.
Also,
you know what the coach, I'm
friends with the coach.
You're a little bit, you know what it's like, you know, like you see this rock star player arrives here, he's probably from, you know, played for the Sharks or something like that. He says, can I come and join your club? You know, now you're going like, yes, like this guy can win me the league. He bursts us four. No, all of a sudden the coach's his belief principles is a little bit
tweaked,
yeah, why not?
behind the scenes, yeah. Also with coaches moving across into clubs where they didn't grow up, where they played their rugby, you also find that that the players don't really know what the coach is about. You know, I'd find this especially at St. George's a couple of years back when Wilbur Kraak started by us. You had that players didn't know what it was about, so there was a huge influx of players, but now you got to keep the players there. Ismaeel did good with Milton as well. When he started there, a bunch of players come, and then even more players come. So if you keep on doing something right, Villager will have the same thing with guys like with Ross Williams and with the head coach there. Kana Hughes coming in there, and then it moves in, you know, and then you find that players like Ashley Clark, you know, these guys can help the inexperienced or the youngsters in the team to play, because I mean Ashley has played at international level as well. So.
Talking about Villagers, we managed to catch up with Villagers pre-season training. That was on Monday night. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll catch up with the guys at Villagers. They're back in the mix. They've moved into Super League A, and I'm sure they're going to have something to say about who ends up where in Super League A. We'll take an ad break. We're back at the Unisec. Rugby TV Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. We bring it back to you. We bring you the very best of rugby in and around Cape Town. We focus on the clubs, and this year we're going to be doing a little bit of school rugby. We'll try and bring you some school action and kind of let you know what's happening in the world of youth and school rugby. I think it's going to be quite an exciting segment if we can get the schools to participate in the process. Heaven alone knows we've managed to struggle hard enough to get the clubs to participate in the process. And on that point, if you've got a club rugby jersey, or you want to tell us about what game you've got coming up over the weekend, or if you've got players or practice sessions happening, let us know so we can give it publicity. Because if you don't let us know, we can't give it publicity. We're just going to then move on to other clubs. It's as simple as that. Nice to have seen some of the clubs over the years really participating in the show. I would say, if we just mention off the top of the head, Elsie Sofir, Milnerton, St. George's. In fact, I'm going to probably carry on for a while.
Yeah, the next 100 you're going to be.
Yeah. But that's the problem, is I can't talk about the next 100. This is the problem with the show right now, is that I can talk about 80. It's the other 20, 25. Where are they? Why are they not jumping on board and on Facebook and so on? So we've got 80 clubs, yes, but we should be looking for 100% of clubs. Anyway. So Villagers Rugby Club, we popped down there. It was close by. That's part of the reason why we went out there for the first club. No other motivation around it. We had to catch up there with their practice session on Monday evening, and we caught up there with the captain, Ashley Clark. See what they had to say.
It's been lekker. Second week back. The first week was good. We had quite a good turnout the first couple of days, and then obviously the last day the Oaks sort of like petered out a bit. I think it was a bit too much for them. But yeah, it's looking good. I mean, look at the turnout today. It's quite a big group of guys. No, we worked quite hard, October, November. Took a lot of December off. Did enjoy the gammon and the turkey and all the rest of it. Yeah, we worked hard in the gym and all the rest of it because we know in the B League you can get away with it, but in the Super A you really gotta spend a bit of time in the gym to actually be able to weigh up against the big boys. No, I think we just got to go out there and play. Eh? The main thing for us is to stay here, stay in the Super A League next year. It's to compete and all the rest of it. You know, I think we got to take it slowly and take it as it rolls, obviously.
Well, yeah, Ashley Clark there. He seems ready to go. Nice turnout there. Everybody dressed nice and neatly. 53 guys turning up for practice but we've heard this before. I mean, last year we went to Tigerberg. That was our opening, and they had like 60 guys there. You guys also had more than a lot of guys, huh? Not so many?
Not so many.
Last year?
Yeah. Well, it's the first couple of weeks, and guys are obviously keen to show what they're made of to the coaches, and obviously the vibe created by the club.
Yeah. Have you guys already started having those meetings about all these pre-season rugby days and all that kind of stuff as well?
That's done and dusted.
Really?
Schedule's out already, so...
Can we get the schedule?
In due
Then
course.
you might become club number 80, because now you've dropped down to club number 79. And you guys, Lyndon, have you also started thinking about other club activities, other than matches, obviously, but like...
Yeah, I think I sent it through to your email, but it didn't get there. I'm not sure if
it's in Wales.
It's in Wales. Yeah, it's on his way.
So we've got a schedule coming from Milnerton. We've got a schedule coming from St George's. Just to kind of get that club rugby calendar together. And so, folks, if you've got some activity lined up, I mean, just as an example, you would normally have that whole Milnerton Rugby Day.
That's correct.
Clubs from all over.
That's correct. And we'll be having this one. We'll be having one again this year, and we'll be going with our program again with regards to giving
kids to
collecting canned food for.
See, we talk about this as if everybody knows about it, but I think it's worth repeating.
No, well, we basically ask the players to each bring a can of food for the needy, and we distribute it on the day. We invite them to the game, and then we hand it over to them. And
what's the date?
21st of March.
21st of March. Okay. So that's not that far away. Have you got already an idea of which teams are playing?
Not yet. We'll get confirmation within the next week.
Okay. So at that time, as soon as we know who it is, then we can start promoting the fact and reminding all players from all teams.
From all clubs, and then that will make the pool much bigger.
Exactly. That's the idea. Is like when they all come to the Milnerton Rugby Day, everybody can bring a ton of food.
We had a couple of teams bringing some canned food last year. Gurud, fourth side brought some goodies. So I mean, it worked, and hopefully this year we can go bigger, and the beneficiaries can smile even.
Just like
that would be awesome.
Be world class. Right. So folks, there you know now. If we're going to talk about it then closer to the time. If you're going to the Milnerton Rugby Day, if you're one of those teams that's playing that Milnerton Rugby Day, every player who's going, okay, we're going to keep drumming this home. Get yourself a ton of food. Start collecting them even. A ton of food. And you can then take it with to Milnerton on the day. And that food will then go to the community in the noon. And then similarly for any other club that when you're doing your rugby days, whatever charity drives that you've got, or social initiatives, let us know, and then we can keep pushing it so that the players who are participating, the fans that are participating, will all support your charity drive, which will make your event so much bigger and sweeter. All right. So we stayed at Villages. We managed to catch up with some more of the guys there. Let's quickly see what happened.
Pre-season has been very encouraging. We've had quite a few players out. We've had 3 sessions. The turnout has been very, very good. A lot of the guys are unfit, but the pre-season is there to get the guys fit and ready for our first on-field practice, which will be the first week of Feb.
Back in Super A, what's the expectation like?
I think the guys want to actually perform as well as they performed in Super League B. The capabilities are there. The talent is coming in slowly but surely, but the club has got high aspirations of giving a good account of ourselves. Well, normally speaking, what's supposed to happen is this guys are supposed to phone in and tell us that they're going to be late. If not, we reprimand them and we tell them that it's unacceptable, and we will then take whatever steps we think necessary to make sure that it doesn't happen again, because as you know, guys that are not here early disrupt the practice, and it causes the coaches to reassess what they have to do. Well, the systems are very, very good because we put a lot of reliance on off the field as well as on the field play, and the guys gel in very, very nicely. We want to make a family, we want everybody to feel at home, and as a club we are doing a lot to make sure that the guys want to stay on for the next seasons as well, and they seem to have bought into our philosophy.
Well, Harold Kessler is, of course, the manager there at Villages, and seems to be getting things underway in a rather structured way. From a discipline point of view, Ish, how early in the season do you start laying the discipline? I mean, do you start laying the law straight away, because then you get maybe upset players in the first? Like, ek is hier vir hierdie nie.
No, well, it's important to let them know where you stand.
Yeah.
And if they're going to be upset, then you might as well get rid of the deadwood as soon as possible.
It's a hard world. I'm off to Wales. Is that Lyndon? And St. George?
Yeah, I can see even yeah, no, you gotta put your like issue. You gotta get rid of the deadwood in the beginning, because come mid-season you're dragging these guys along, and then they drop you when you
really need them.
Yeah, then they I mean, players these days know what the laws is about, the transfer window as well, when they can leave, what
Jeez, we
what
sound like
needs
the
to be
EPL
placed.
here.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that happens in Wales. That happens in Wales. That happens in Wales.
It happens in Wales, stays in Wales.
Hey, so you know, these players know this, and then they play the clubs off against each other. Then you have the
No, I'll tell you something. That is like where I draw the line.
Yeah.
If a player starts with that, like, yeah, but I've been offered with this, with that club and that club. Cheers, buddy, go.
Yeah,
Hit
that's
the road.
deadwood.
We don't play club rugby like that. You play for the club, and this is not a negotiation. You want to play on the club, you find, yes, it costs 29 rand a month or whatever. That's where the squash court is. That's where the balls are.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play, then
But I mean, you
I don't
gotta.
know. Hey, Ish, I don't know. You guys?
100%, I fully agree. I mean, it's not a bargaining tool to use clubs to your own benefit. Hey, if
It's
you get
amateur
offered something, exactly.
You don't have an agent? Have you guys got agents there?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
But it's like you want to pick up the signs before these guys, because these guys are so they become so clever over the years that they know when to do this. So they do this when like you said, like at the moment when you actually need them, when your first two friendlies are gone. Now they know they only play one game, and they can leave the club. So they get all your training, they use all your resources, and they end up going.
You can't really stop that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the way some smart guys work. They know they've been in the system long enough to understand how the system works. So they'll try their luck.
Yeah.
So in this case, Harold Kessler was talking about a fine system that they've got. Now, I know that at Villages generally that fine system involves alcohol. So
Jeez, that could get raucous.
no, well it does. It does at Villages. It can get raucous. It'll be a fine session for anything, like if you've got the wrong colour socks on.
Or if you rocked up and parked in someone's place, or if you put your bag in the wrong locker room as well. So, but I think what he was referring to was actually something that wasn't as enjoyable as what Villages knows as a fines. I mean, Villages went, like when they won the league last year. I remember Ghana Hughes said they were recovering from a hangover for about a week. So they had a lot of fines meeting. Yeah,
the two of you sat here after the show, like I couldn't get rid of you guys. I was like, Lyndon, God, I know you guys are.
I gotta go. My plane to Wales only left later on, so I couldn't.
You played to Wales,
so
only left later on.
I didn't have to go there.
Okay, then of course we managed to catch up with the physio at Villages, and of course the teams today in the club rugby now seem to be heading. And you know, I really like this fact that we are seeing physios starting to get involved with clubs, because a lot of kids today, they go study sports management or sports, more sports management than sports science, because that's more quite advanced, and they don't get jobs. They've got nowhere to go. Yeah. So it's great to see that the physios are getting a chance almost, and quite frankly, I would encourage it, to do an internship almost.
Exactly.
You?
Fresh students coming out of maybe they need some work and experience.
Yeah.
Clubs can pick them up, and they can draw massive experience from working at the club.
Yeah.
And that experience you can't buy. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, that's hardcore. That's on there, and you got to put in the hard yards as well. You got to be at every practice with at the same time as the coach.
Yep.
And you got to be there before.
Even before us.
After.
You're the first one there, and you're the last one to leave. So.
First one, yeah. What's that called? Philo. First in, last out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Nick Berger is of course the physio at Villages. and all involved there with conditioning and preparation. Let's catch up with Nick Berger.
So yeah, we've started our pre-season officially now on the 5th of Jan. We gave the guys a bit of a gym program to do on their own during the holidays, which we monitored them with as well, and we answered any questions. And now, yeah, like I said, we started the pre-season and the guys are going well. The first week, last week was excellent. The motivation's high, the numbers are increasing every week. And then on the 2nd of Jan, we're going to start a bit of contact as well. We excluding contact for now, giving the guys a chance to get their aerobic base a bit higher. Yeah, I'm one of 4 buyers here. The head trainer Keith Power, and then I work with the second team. Nicholas Suri behind me is with the first team, Terence with the third team, and Neil is with the under 20. So basically we have a group each, and it's mixed among senior players and under 20 players, getting the guys to introduce each other, building a bit of chaos here amongst the club. And yeah, that's basically what we are currently doing, getting ready for the Super A League. Well, besides my girlfriend managing the first team, I think it should be all in good spirits, and a lot of old boys here and vice versa, a couple of guys up there. I think it should be interesting, a bit of fun. Might not talk to them for the days building up, but it should be fun and interesting on the day, and yeah, hopefully Village will win.
Well, it certainly looks like Nick Berger's going to have his work cut out there for him. Pre-season and off-season conditioning, quite a variety between, quite a difference between that too, those two types of conditioning.
Definitely. Off-season, focusing more on strength gain, picking up some muscle. Pre-season, we go more to the help me out here. You should
a little bit more cardio, a little bit more speed work.
Exactly, more rugby orientated.
Why are you looking at me?
You're the coach. You're the Epox guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
He's the only one.
I think
He's the only one.
I'm not the conditioning coach.
Okay.
yeah.
He's the one that sits. He's the one that sits on. He's the one that sits next to the field.
I'm supposed to be sitting here pretending like I know nothing about rugby, and then I ask you guys.
What did John Dobson tell you?
John Dobson was on the show last year, and he said that as a coach, he is hardly going to talk to the players because Charles Malabra will do all the stuff right now that they're going to see and hear his voice enough during the season.
So he doesn't say a word during off-season and pre-season. He leaves it all to Charles.
No,
In season is John.
Nah, I think John.
Am I right?
Yeah, a little bit. Is that the longest one?
Yeah, let's give it to him. He's just his kid was just born, so he's probably having a lot of nappy jokes.
Yes, I know, but at least he's not sending me to Wales. So, all right. The funny thing
I'm
though
going
is,
there, not you.
now, Villagers, it was interesting here, Nick Berger saying that, and apparently they were ripping him off there about it, is that his girlfriend is the manager of UCT.
Yeah.
So now Villagers is going to be playing against UCT in the league.
And then he's probably going to be sleeping on the
on the couch.
or outside.
Or outside in the dog box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, whichever happens.
Imagine that fine session.
Yeah, that was going to be.
Someone's going to, there's no winner in that house. You know what I mean? They better pray for a draw.
Yeah, I think between Villager and UCT, some beer house is going to be making a lot of profit that weekend.
All right, so one of the other guys, of course, that's at Villagers now is Adrian Clearfuss. Tell us more about Adrian.
He was a Dizer player. He was with Ish in the Dizer group. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's Ish to this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
it's,
Ish to this.
very
He's the
good.
coach. He's also he's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
coach.
after all, he
Yeah,
probably
he's the
knows
coach.
him
He
more
knows.
than
Yeah,
you.
knows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he does. Yeah.
Very good prop. Played.
Propful, yeah.
Played.
We're going to
Province-
catch up with him in a second now.
Played Province Dizers last year,
Yeah.
so he comes with a bit of experience and played a bit of provincial rugby. Got a taste of it last year, so he's an experienced prop and he'll bring some good value to
Okay.
Villagers.
Okay then, so let's catch up now with Adrian Clearfuss.
Hi everyone, my name is Adrian Clearfuss. I've been here for around about 6 to 7 years now. My position, best preferred number 1, but I also can play 3 as well, so big mean machine, as one could say. But all I can say is the best part of last year was mainly the GS with the boys and all. So all I can say, well done to the boys for making it to Super A, and let us do this for one more time, boys.
Back at pre-season, what's the training like?
Back at pre-season, the training was a bit harsh, but hopefully it will be easier this year. But I do see that Ross is taking over, so it might be a little technical in one's word. But yeah, that's all I can say. But for the boys that's here for Super A, all I can do is wish them the best. Do your best, never give up. Goals for this season, just to be a lean, mean machine, very mobile as well. Getting there like I'm on my way on that side. So yeah, that's all I can say. Thanks, eh?
So Adrian Cleophas is in a situation there that he is staying lean off season. It's funny how these guys all talk food after the New Year's thing.
I think it's a guilty conscience, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's you pick up that extra pounds during your Christmas and New Year, that break that you have. Most rugby players are off. Well, club rugby players are off during that time.
And he's trying to convince himself that.
That is, yeah.
Probably.
Well, you would know him. I mean, you went on tour, so we won't ask what happened.
We all had a good festive season, didn't we?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm talking about the Dyser tour. So you. Nine Wales we had winter, so it wasn't that hot. So we couldn't pick up the
Winter in Wales, yeah.
My mistake.
Ross Williams, of course, one of the key, or he's instrumental at least in the marketing around the Villages Rugby Football Club, which has proved to be so important considering that their motto is playing for the right reasons and they don't want to pay players, and which is of course so important to then find alternative ways to attract players to the team. So far they seem to be pretty successful. We managed to catch up with Ross Williams and get some of his ideas.
Pre-season we're going alright. We've got about 45 guys down at training so far. We've only been going about a week. This is just pre-preparation for the real pre-season, which is starting about 2 weeks. At the moment we're just trying to get the guys out of the holiday mode and getting ready for the Super League A. Today the guys are doing some physical prep with the two biokineticists, and the one group is doing skills with one of our under 20 coaches. This year is going to be quite a tough one. We've just been promoted. I think this year is mainly focused on consolidation to do as best as we can in this league. It is difficult. We've got some big names to take on, but the guys are looking all right. We've been training since December last year, and we have some new signings, some new faces. So hopefully we'll be doing all right.
Yeah, so Ross Williams actively involved there with Villages marketing. Ish, have you guys, is it Nolene at your side? Focusing on marketing the club and so forth?
Definitely Nolene. She plays a massive role.
Is it again? Nolene?
Again, always Nolene. She's the main person behind driving the news forward to the public in terms of what's going on at the club. You've got him at St. George's.
You're handling the PR and marketing for St. George's
St.
again?
George's, yeah. I'm doing that again.
Okay. What does that involve?
It involves obviously like Ish said, getting the info out to the public, your supporters as well.
Yeah.
And then also if a coach wants to send out a message on the day, or as an urgent message, or just general birthday wishes, wedding, births of.
Do you get involved in
kids.
planning bride places or poiki courses or anything like that?
Yeah, that as well. Like you will have coaches after a session or after planning. They'll usually have a team building, which generally won't be like advertised. So they'll pick it up.
So it's event planning as well.
Yeah. So you got to get this.
And then just in your doing the rounds amongst the other clubs and so forth, are there a lot more clubs doing this kind of thing?
Yeah, I know Tariq van der Ros is now at
Strand
United, so then he's also busy there. Alice Michaels at Elsie's, he's also doing good. Nolene as well there, and then Ross. So there's a couple of guys that are doing quite a bit with what they have within the community, and then they use what the community is known for, what the community has to push it forward. Zaid Apollos, the referee with Rangers, he also does a bit of marketing for the club. So you have these guys that are doing it on a more of a part-time basis, but then they move slowly but surely. They move in more permanently.
Of course, we need to be having another social media seminar.
Yeah, we haven't had one in quite a while. Eh?
We need to have a social media seminar. Next week we will announce the date. In fact, we might announce the date on social media before that. We will need to have another social media seminar, which has been very successful. The ones that we did have, it kind of got the ball rolling for Club Rugby, I think.
It did, yeah. And I was looking at the notes of that first one that we had at Newlands, yeah. The one where we were about 25 or 30 clubs in that lecture hall.
What was going on in your mind at that time? You must have been sitting there, cake the
No, I was actually sitting there. We could actually use this because our chairman, Ruben Ruffel, he's very pro moving with the times. So I mean, he was pushing this thing from our side.
Yeah.
At the time, I was under 20 coach at St. George's. So then it was sort of like a.
It's going to be fantastic.
pro bono.
This social media seminar, and it's not just social media, it's media and marketing and sponsorship. This seminar is going to be fantastic because now we've got the clubs to a point where they already have a working rhythm. They now understand things like websites and Facebook and Twitter and social media and YouTube and the TV show.
And hashtags and stuff like that.
Yeah, and hashtags and so forth. Now we've got to bring it all together. So the next lecture will be about taking advantage of your platforms that we've got. So you've got a platform on TV, platform on Facebook. How do we bring it all together and then leverage through TV to end up getting you sponsorship?
Yeah, I remember the very first thing that you highlighted off that seminar was you've got to find someone at your club that has got a passion for this media and marketing and the social media. Also someone that is a bit clued up on technology. So then, if you look back now, the guys that were in that seminar was the guys that I mentioned now that have been moving.
Stuck around.
I think I sat next to Alice in that seminar, and we were on the phones and we were looking over each other, like trying to get this hashtag thing and Twitter thing going. And I mean,
the stuff that people come up to get up to issue in my lectures. He's all over Alice in the.
Was he hashtagging every word?
He was hashtagging Alice. All right, no.
You're gonna get me in trouble later. We'll have to go to Wales.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, like I said, what goes on in Wales stays in Wales. The poor Welsh team, by the time that they watch the show, their spirit's going to be broken for the World Cup. They're not going to win anything.
What is this guy doing?
All right, folks, we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the fixtures still coming up with the Varsity Cup, of course, and Community Challenge as well as Community Cup. Back with you after the break. Welcome back, folks. Yes, Cape Rugby TV. Remember, Vasco Tavern is, of course, in the Greenpoint area. Portuguese restaurant, a fantastic restaurant. Of course, I think home to the boys at Hamilton's as well. If you want to get out of the Vasco Tavern, you want to win yourself a 250 Rand meal voucher, all you need to do is SMS the word Vasco to 33280. 33280, and you can win yourself a meal voucher for dinner to the value of at least 250 Rand. I think that's extremely exciting. Get down there to the Vasco Tavern, kindly supporting Cape Rugby TV. We're looking to take a few people there for, I think, a Friday afternoon lunch. Sounds like a good place to go. All right, let's quickly now look at the Varsity Cup fixtures coming up. It's NMU against, or at least Pucker take on NMMU in Potchefstroom. Shimla's take on Tuks and Bloem. CUT take on UJ in Bloemfontein. And then UCT take on Marties in Cape Town. So, of course, not in fact, I'm sure it's home ground advantage for UCT first. That starts on the 9th of February, so quite a bit of time there still before we kick off the Varsity Cup, but it's going to be extremely exciting. Remember that fantastic finish that UCT had last year. Then in the Varsity Shield, it's UWC who take on KZN. Of course, hometown advantage for UWs. And then TUT take on Fort Hare in Tshwane. Okay, so there's a couple of other things happening in the world of Western Province Rugby. There's an introductory referees course that's happening on the 21st of February, starting at 7:30 through to 1 o'clock at Belleville. And then, of course, on the 28th of February at 7:30 also through to 3 o'clock at Belleville. Tracksuit pants is fine. It's free. And that's on the 19th of February. So a lot of opportunity there for the folks who want to go and do their referees courses. Let's take a quick look now at the Community Cup fixtures that are coming up. Of course, it's Vredenburg who take on False Bay first. Roses United are up against Belhar. Saldanha take on Paarl. Never Despair are up against SK Warmers. And Horston are up against Primrose. It's going to be on the 7th of February, that start, and it's home ground advantage for the Boerland team first. And then, of course, on the further down the line, the Community Challenge, just to give you a sort of a heads up for where it is, it's the knockouts that will be played on the 28th of March. The venue is still to be confirmed. Of course, the Boerland has first refusals, and all teams will field 23 players. Western Province and Boerland will field both first, at least not both, but all three teams, first, second, and third team. So that's quite exciting. And then just finally, if you didn't get that result, it was UWC who played against Paarl on Monday night. It's a bit of a warm-up. It was Paarl coming away with a 2-point win there, beating UWC 19 points to 17 at the Fora Street Stadium. So Paarl looks like they're off to a good start. They did start off early last year and managed to get their sports nutrition side of things on track and get their off-season prep going. All right, folks, that is a wrap from Cape Rugby TV. We'll, of course, see you every week on Wednesday night between 9 and 10. Ismaeel, Dollie, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to have you on the show a lot this year.
Always a pleasure, JP.
It's going to be really good, and all the best to your family. Once again, congratulations to the birth of your son.
Thank you very much.
And Lyndon Judy's, the same goes to you, my man. We look forward to having you on the show a lot. We've got
I don't have a son yet, so you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, JP. So.
Work on it.
Hey?
Can't congratulate him.
You can't congratulate me on a son.
All right,
It's
okay.
the world's thing. So,
I'm trying to say goodbye to you. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Bye, JP. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the club rugby this week.
It's going to be good fun. It's going to be a good panel. Cape Rugby TV off to the start 2015. This is our 5th season, which means we've brought you more than 300 episodes of Cape Rugby TV. This is more than four episodes? 4 times 3, yeah? No, more than that. Well, we're in our 5th season anyway. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.